the president and the secretary of defense have given their speeches to the gathering of generals in Quantico. And frankly, it is one of the most disturbing things I've ever seen. Normally on this channel, I will read quotes and then give you guys some context, but instead I want to let the president's words speak for themselves. So here's a little snippet that I found pretty troubling.
What they've done to San Francisco, Chicago, New York, Los Angeles, they're very unsafe places, and we're going to straighten them out one by one. And this is going to be a major part for some of the people in this room. That's a war, too. It's a war from within. Controlling the physical territory of our border is essential to national security. We can't let these people in.
So I want to point out a war from within. The real enemies are American citizens, American cities. That's who the generals are going to be expected to go after. If this, I don't know what more you want. Like, this is one of the most disturbing things I've ever heard a U.S. president say. So, yeah. Here's another deeply disturbing statement from the Secretary of Defense.
We are preparing every day. We have to be prepared for war, not for defense. We're training warriors, not defenders. We fight wars to win, not to defend. Defense is something you do all the time. It's inherently reactionary and can lead to overuse, overreach, and mission creep. War is something you do sparingly, on our own terms, and with clear aims. We fight to win. We unleash overwhelming and punishing violence on the enemy. We also don't fight with stupid rules of engagement. We untie the hands of our warfighters to intimidate, demoralize, hunt, and kill the enemies of our country. No more politically correct and overbearing rules of engagement. Just common sense, maximum lethality, and authority for warfighters. That's all I ever wanted as a platoon leader.
Okay, well, that was also disturbing. And let me give you guys just a little bit of context of why this is so troubling. The first is the U.S. president's telling a series of generals that their mission is going to be to target U.S. citizens, to go to war with U.S. countries, U.S. cities, rather, and counties. I don't know what more context you want. That's not the military's job. The military protects American citizens. We have law enforcement whose job it is to enforce the laws. If these cities have a crime problem, then deploy more law enforcement officials to arrest, investigate, arrest, charge, and incarcerate and punish. That's what the system's for. We don't use the U.S. military for law enforcement, period. That's how that's how America works. It's a core founding principle of the country. But then it's even more disturbing when you hear the Secretary of Defense, and that is his name because Trump's own executive order does not trump congressional law, and by law, he is in charge of the Department of Defense. And the Department of Defense, well, frankly, in addition to the fact that it was full of a bunch of absurd shit, like saying defense is something we do all the time. We don't do that. We're the Secretary of War. We only go to war. Like, I don't know, dude. I kind of want a country that defends around the clock. That's me. But what's disturbing is when he says we're not going to have stupid rules of engagement. Now, I want to be clear, guys. In a counterinsurgency, the rules of engagement were sometimes pretty restrictive because killing civilians is bad. It is both morally bad, but it is also bad counterinsurgency policy if you're trying to build a stable government. And it is, but to sit there and say rules of engagement as a class are stupid is one of the most disturbing things, because what that does is authorizes war crimes. What do you think it means to intimidate and demoralize the enemy? Like, and not have rules of engagement. Also, guys, who is our enemy? We just heard the president describe the war within, that the cities of the United States are the enemy. Is Russia the enemy? No. Russia hasn't been subject to what the Secretary of Defense calls maximal firepower or total destruction. Russia isn't even treated as an enemy of the United States. China certainly isn't. We've suspended aid to Taiwan. So they obviously, deterring China isn't part of this. So who are we at war with? The only person or entity that the president has articulated is U.S. citizens. Full stop. Maybe Venezuelan fishing boats, if you want to stretch. But if this isn't disturbing, guys, I don't know what else to tell you. I don't have any commentary. Everything they said, they just laid it out for us. Now, will generals go out and say that this was wrong, that this isn't right, that this is immoral, illegal, or unethical? No, because ultimately the U.S. military for decades has selected careerist cowards as generals instead of actual bold warfighters, actual people of character willing to stand up, try new things, and most importantly, place the values of the U.S. military above those of their own careers. Those people just simply don't get promoted. They get drummed out of the military. So I don't know what to tell you. I don't know what you should do about it, but this was some creepy shit. This was creepy shit. So hit subscribe. You can become a member of my premium site at combatvetnews.com. The link's in the description. I'm going to be on this platform as long as they'll let me. Anyway, take care of yourselves. See ya.